If you guys would like to buy coins, you can go to mmoxp.com. There will be a link in the description down below. They are the cheapest and the safest option. You can use my code JFC at checkout for an 8% discount. Well, we're back with a comments video. I try and pick like once a month or so to read through every comment on a couple of my videos, just to talk to you guys and discuss some things. I'm sure the title is something we discuss in this video. I always have a lot of fun with it, so thank you for leaving comments if you did, and thank you for watching. And if you're looking for something to just throw on in the background, have something to listen to, then hopefully that can be this for you. And like I always say, nothing's off limits, so we'll see what ends up happening here. I haven't read through these or anything, but okay. We got Kylo Second, who says my goat. Thank you, Kylo. Appreciate you. We have got Fut Trader 4. Hi, Daddy. All right. Yep, this is this is the start we got already. We got Nickname, who says opened the 100 players pack, got an 89 and a few walkouts with the team of the week. What is pack weight? With the smirking but crying emoji. And Creed replies and says, I got 2 team of the weeks and a gold 86 and no promo cards. And it is funny thinking about the pack weight and how an 82 by 20 or an 83 by 20, when talking about the pack weight we used to have in FIFA, back in like FIFA, let's say 19, 20, 21, back when those were like icon swap packs only, those packs were insane, right? An 83 by 10 even was crazy. And you were like guaranteed something big inside of that. It's just funny thinking about nowadays, you can open like an 87 by 15, which is like the biggest pack, and that'll give you great fodder no matter what. So I don't want to hate on that pack, but you're not guaranteed a promo card in an 87 by 15, which is pretty insane, right? We got Slicksy, who says this promo might be one of the worst of the year. Absolute disappointment for a full icon and hero team. And you're right. I think the main reason for that is less so the promo itself. Like, it's okay. I don't think it's terrible, but it's more so just the content with it. And now we have the Immortals League, which helps, but it just feels almost purposely run-of-the-mill to a point that we're supposed to get annoyed by it and like not care, so we come back for team of the season. That feels like a strategy almost that might be bullshit. We have Definitely Russian, got Big Sis Angry from a 100 player pack. Big Sis Angry? Straight into Hullet. Also, I am the best FIFA player of all time, no question. I don't know, I'm assuming this might be like an autocorrect thing. Big Sis Angry. Big Sis Angry from 100 player pack. Oh, Angerer, I bet. Is that what it is? Was it Angerer? And I'm gonna go out on a limb here. I'm gonna say something. I would bet you're probably not the best FIFA player of all time. I would just bet on that. And you know what? I'm glad you believe that, because you need delusional confidence, okay? Everyone needs some delusional confidence once in a while. Magic Carpet says, how are you getting rank 1 in champs with the inconsistent gameplay? Are you playing your games at 3 a.m. or something? Because every weekend, half my games are so much delay and so unplayable. And honestly, I've only gotten rank 1, I think, 3 times this year. I think I've gotten 15-0. And other than that, I'm usually at like the 13 win mark. That's like my average. And honestly, what helps is I on PC have less delay than I did on console. I have delay games on PC probably only a couple times a weekend rather than half my games, if that makes sense. That does help a lot. And also, like, there are people out there that can compensate with reaction time for some of the delay. Those are the guys, those are like the pro players, right? Those are the guys you see that it doesn't matter what they're doing. They could have a worse team, connection's not great. They will go 15-0 in champs because they're just that good. I am not quite like that. I'm gonna need like some pretty good gameplay for the weekend for me to actually finish 15-0. I remember the weekend I went 15-0 most recently. I had like 1 game or 2 games of bad gameplay, I remember, and we managed to squeak through those, and the rest of them I was pretty good. So for me, my finishes are inconsistent, rather. Like, they're probably 13, 14, 15 wins pretty consistently, but they're inconsistent within those margins. But honestly, getting rank 1 in champs is just hard. Like, it genuinely, I mean, you have to get the right matchmaking, you have to get the right gameplay, you have to get luck. I mean, unless you are like legitimately an insane FIFA player, you're gonna need some luck on your side to not lose a game. Like, you're just going to need some luck. So you kind of have to have all the stars align a little bit for you to get rank 1. And also, you have to be good enough. I mean, you have to genuinely be good enough at the game to actually have that in your arsenal to beat some of those top end guys. So you have to have a lot kind of going for you, and it's just hard. It's just very hard to go 15-0, especially when like the crazy matchmaking starts at 5-0 now. Like it's just hard, right? We've got Muhammad, who says, I found it weird. We haven't seen any EA mistake for a while now. I'm wondering what has changed. And honestly, it is a good question. I think we've seen so many fewer mistakes since the whole debacle in January. We've talked about a million times. When the report came out, they were struggling and stuff like that. I think they finally got their act together a little bit and said, hey, this actually probably is pretty ridiculous. I think players were starting to feel right around the messy situation last year, like, holy shit, you guys are actually beyond incompetent to a point that it's not worthy of playing. And that was what some people's mentality was last year, and they left the game post-Messi. We talked about the Messi numbers last year were really, really low post the incident, and people blamed it on the post-team of the year stuff or whatever, and that's fine. But even I said at the time, I'm like, hey, this was sharper than most years, and you can't just sit here and shaft half the player base, or actually it was like 70% of the player base, and be like, man, it doesn't matter. I mean, of course it matters. It all adds up. And yeah, it might not be the straw that breaks the camel's back for some people, but it was for some people. And like, you just can't make this many mistakes in a row without it affecting you. And they think they're hopefully like realizing that to a certain extent, because honestly, I don't know what other reason there could be for not having as many mistakes. It feels like they just have to have gotten their shit together at least a little bit, right? We've got Jab the Boy who says, hey bro, just a simple question. How was you day? And my day was great. I hope you've had a great day yourself. 10th one to respond to you and said gay, which I, yeah, Jab, ignore him. But yeah, it was good. About to record another video and probably play the Immortals League after. That's what I'm doing today. Emilio says, I love your videos. I love you, Emilio. Thank you for being here. Gamer on Pitch says, all I'm going to be saying for the week is give me Rooney or I retire, because I'm trying to build a Man U past and present. Apart from that, this game is slowly losing the last bit of fun it had. I'm assuming you meant game, not fame, so that's autocorrect there. I mean, yeah, most people are kind of feeling that right now with the fact that there's just been bad content, really, or not great content, that it's been, you know, kind of losing its steam a little bit. You are not the only one there. And Anubis has commented a lot of thumbs up. Anubis says, a conversation we have in the R6 community is the impact of streaming/streamers on why gaming is sweaty. Because of us having so much access to competitive people all the time at all times, there's a drive by gamers to try and replicate what they see. Everyone is playing every single video game like it's a pro tryout and or money is on the line. Fun died when everyone started wanting to be the next pro. I think that I think part of that is for sure the case. I think the streamers / like creators, I actually think are more responsible to me towards like some toxicity rather than like people being very sweaty. I think there is part of that because almost all creators you watch are like trying to be super sweaty and stuff like that. So people like, you know, that gets emulated. But I think actually the toxicity is kind of where that comes into play a little more often. At least that's what I've noticed. I think what is more the case now is, like you said up top, is probably why it's more sweaty, is just that we have so much access to competitive people all the time. We know what the best shit. The more, like, everybody has knowledge now as to what the best thing is. Whereas back in 2012, when you played Black Ops 2, not everybody had the knowledge as to how to play the game the best. We have that knowledge nowadays. Everybody knows the best play styles immediately. Everybody knows the best dribble mechanics immediately. Whether you can do them or not, you know, there's still a skill gap in these games, but you at least know what the best things are. And that is like, yeah, bridging the gap of the competitive people and the casual people. That I think is probably more the reason why things are sweatier nowadays, or at least that's kind of what my theory is behind it. And the streamers and creators stuff is more so like, I think a lot of them are pretty toxic when they play, and I think that's very easily emulated, and I think that's partly why we see a quite toxic community. And I have seen some people say that, like, you know, you preach against toxic communities, but then you'll sometimes have comments in your comment section like slating off a creator or doing that kind of stuff. I actually think there's one in this video we're going to talk about that I actually did see, because it actually has a lot of upvotes. I definitely understand why that could be like a possible contradiction, 100%. But the reason that I leave it that way is because I don't want toxicity either, but I also think we need to be able to possibly like call each other out if some of us are doing some dumb shit. Like if a creator is shoving EA's you know what down their throat, like we should be able to talk about that, even though we're not like saying fuck that guy, right? Like we should have a nuance there. But I understand why people might not want to, you know, do that. Agent MFP, I had so much hope for Immortals, praying that Team 2 will be at least half decent. Well, Agent, if you're watching this, how's Team 2 so far? Juan Fernandez, thanks for being here. Creed says, well, we saw his comment earlier. Actually, I knew it anyway, but I still completed the 100-player SPC. Why are they allowed to do this? Vast majority were 81 to 82 rated. Fuck off, EA. I mean, yeah, I totally agree with you. Zook McGee says, believe those tradable packs will land in the 4U section like the one we just got, 84 by 5. And we did see a tradable pack in the 4U section that did look like that. So there there is a more of a chance now that that is what they could be in. I still don't fully buy all of it, but we'll see. We got Daniel Hulkyard, who says keeper movement and L1 speed boost should be removed from the game, and Trivella needs nerfing into the ground. You could have 95% of the ball and just concede long distance Trivellas, 100%. You play people with average players that have stupid speed boosts, they just spam. I refuse to play that way because it's just fake. You don't see hardly anyone scoring them IRL. And this is the thing, is that unfortunately with the game we play, that you kind of have to pick what your play style is going to be. Do you want to conform and do all of the meta stuff? Or do you want to just play your own way and whatever results you get are the results you get? And really, you'd have to just do whatever is like best for you. Because some people can't take the competitive nature of willingly not winning as many games as I could just to play for more fun, which I personally think you should do that. I think, you know, people's egos sometimes can't handle like that loss or two in champs that you probably wouldn't have gotten if you rocked and did certain things. And that's just because I think many of us are competitive, right? It's not a bad thing. People are competitive. They want to win every game. That's how it works. You just have to know yourself. If you can take some of those losses because you just want to play for fun, then do it, right? It's all about what you know you can handle if you want to conform to the meta or not, right? We have Jeff Lyons, who says, how did you get the guards to let you have a pink gaming chair in your prison cell? Did you sell yourself or sell your hat? Won't you be cold, with the cold emoji? And then Mannerman responds and says, you're not funny at all. Well, I actually have a gray gaming chair. It's not pink. Yeah, the prison cell is still kind of the prison cell. We're still working on it, but it's a little bit better at least. I'm hoping to get more lights as well and try and make, like, you know, there's a light right behind the camera right now. I'm trying to hopefully make that one LED as well and try and have the background be a little bit darker, that one a little bit lighter up here so you can kind of like see my face still, and then have it be like a little more colorful. That's my goal eventually. Creed's back again, says, also, was this promo the equivalent of Galazzo from last year? It was, because if so, yeah, this promo and pack weight is absolute peach emoji, aka ass cheeks. I remember packing so many heroes and icons last year. The only player I packed in this promo is that 88 rated Zola twice. And yeah, that's what a lot of these comments are going to be, because it's just been so bland, you know, this promo. I don't know. I've said it a million times, but it just, yeah. We got Fu, who says this promo is just a TOTS waiting room. It absolutely is. I think this is intentionally, honestly, a TOTS waiting room. I genuinely think it's intentional. Timothy Feldman, when are you going to review our Evo teams? That's going to be the next video that I ask you guys to send me something. So stay tuned with that. The reason I didn't upload the last one we did was like, I think it was like over a month ago, is because that was right around the time my computer was just awful. I couldn't record for longer than 20 minutes without it crashing, and I literally was like, I was gonna gouge my eyes out of my skull if I managed to lose another recording by my computer shutting off. But we're good now. Fast Eddie says I'm the only one deflated a little bit and not as hyped for TOTS as I should be. I feel like Team of the Year promo took all my hype away this year. I was so giddy and excited waiting for it. Everything after that has been so mid. I'm bored. And I think that this is quite normal when, for one, we haven't heard anything yet. I think people's hype for TOTS builds when we at least hear some info about like what the promo is going to be and we see a card design for it. It starts to come back a little bit. But this is the danger of doing what EA do. And if you make like 2 or 3 weeks prior to Team of the Season not that interesting at all, you do give people the chance to be like, I don't even care to come back. And then the people don't come back. So I do think this is some sort of strategy from them, some sort of delayed gratification strategy of some kind that I think they've utilized a few times. Like prior to Team of the Year, they do this sometimes. And, you know, prior to Team of the Season right now, they're doing it. But it does run the risk of players just being so bored prior to it, they're not even playing the game when Team of the Season actually drops. Obviously, they have numbers for that. They probably can see that that doesn't happen as much as maybe we think it does, but I don't know. Okay, moving on. We got Cyber Racer, who says another La Liga left back, talking about Marcos Alonso's flashback. LOL, we all have Capdevila, Yuri Berchiche, or Mendy. And yeah, I mean, you can kind of always pick at things to complain about with EA's player selection, because honestly, the EA's player selection for promos is pretty bad. So I think it is worthy of talking about. But at the end of the day, it's also partly our fault too, because obviously we engage more with promos that we know the players' names of, because if we didn't, then we would see more of those. We did see a couple promos back over the years of like mostly players that we didn't really know who they were. And clearly those promos must not have done very well, because EA just don't give a shit about those anymore. So I agree with you that like I would like to see more variation in EA's sort of like planning for SBC content and player content, but they just try and do stuff that will be the most completed, I think, and that tends to be really popular players in popular leagues a lot of the time. We got Joel Santos, Daddy J, a rather personal question. Okay. Do you do YouTube full-time or do you have a conventional job too? So yes and no. Technically it is, because my other part of like what I do is actually edit videos for people. So I technically do like YouTube stuff full-time, but I don't genuinely do my exact channel full-time. But yeah, that's kind of how I make my money. Basically is made by editing videos. So I either edit my own or edit other people's. We've got AG who says, I think those tradable packs are probably swaps in my opinion. I really hope so. I hope we get swaps back again. I know that the season is basically a permanent swaps promo, and people are kind of like, you know, why would you want icon swaps back when we have a permanent swaps promo right now in seasons? And it's like, yeah, I totally understand that, and I do want to give EA their credit for like doing that with the season, because it didn't used to be like that. But I do think, you know, what's the harm in giving us kind of two of those? I don't know, maybe it's just too much free content at the end of the day. Even though it's not free, it's still hella time you put into it, but in EA's eyes it's free because it's not money spent. Moving on here, we got AG again who says, you know the problem with 484s and you're unassigned, you can't do anything with them, just quick sell them, he says, with the crying laughing emoji. I think he's replying to me when I was talking about SBC storage, and I was saying like, people take for granted when there were like 385s and 484s and you're unassigned, what the hell do you do with those? And he's saying just quick sell them, and it's like, well, yes, you could just quick sell them, but that shows you now the fodder difference that you are saving every time you would have quick sold those last year, that you are now not getting rid of those this year. So that is a giant difference, and that was bringing us into the exchange debate on why would you rather have exchanges or SBC storage, because it feels like EA will only want one or the other. And I was saying SBC storage, and most people were saying SBC storage is clear of exchanges, but I do think we need exchanges, and I don't see why we shouldn't get them and why we can't have both. But EA obviously view them as too overpowered. But you saying like, yeah, just quick sell them, it's like, yeah, you could do that, and that was kind of my point in the video. You have to kind of quick sell them. You don't have to now with SBC storage. All that stuff adds up a lot. Peter Kessel says, still my first viewing of every day. Continue to grow and call things out for what they are. Also notice not swearing as much. I'm gutted, LOL. Trust me, I don't do it on purpose. If I'm not swearing for a day, I must be in a good mood. You caught me in a good mood, Peter. And thank you for the kind words, of course, as well. We got Dr. AK who says, in my honest opinion, I much preferred swaps over SBC storage, which is kind of like, I guess maybe you feel like we can't have swaps because of SBC storage. I don't think that's the case, but most of the time now the storage is almost full of fodder waiting for the next big SBC, so I can't fully utilize it anyway. And I think that last sentence is for sure a fair point there. Like, you do just wonder in general, what is the things they're holding back this year because of SBC storage? Is it like we don't see good menu grinds simply because of that? You know, if there's certain things they won't add to the game because of SBC storage, like maybe it isn't actually that great for us. But at the same time, it's hard to know what reasons there are, because we didn't see great menu grind stuff. We saw it getting worse and worse every year before SBC storage even existed. So is it just because of that? I would doubt that. Same with swaps, right? We saw swaps kind of going to the wayside before SBC storage became a thing. So is it because of that? I don't know. I'd probably say not fully, but maybe somewhat. Moving on next here, we got Jonathan who says, I watch your channel like an addict. Made this channel grow as fast as possible. Heart emoji. Thank you, Jonathan. I appreciate you so much. Your guys' nice comments literally like make my day. Like, I'm blushing. I'm cheesing, actually, as the cool kids would say. Brutta says, basically, you know, he prefers SBC storage to swaps, which also, once again, I feel like maybe I said something weird in my video. I don't really think we need to compare SBC storage and swaps. Oh, wait, you're comparing, so having to swap them around. So you're comparing untradeable duplicates that you can't do anything with to SBC storage. So you're just saying you like SBC storage more than exchanges, I'm assuming is what you're saying there. But okay, moving on here. Ethan Hawk says, icon promo, so boring. Is EA being cheap on purpose so they can negotiate a smaller deal for current players IRL? I don't believe so. I think they have, like, you know, they got the FIFA Pro license and they've got the licenses like dealt up. They have enough money for the licenses already. They have relationships with these clubs. It's hard to pull things away from EA. It's very hard. The resources are massive. I don't think there's much of a conspiracy going on, apart from just they might want to purposely delay content to have us come back for TOTS. That might be the only conspiracy going on right now to me, but who knows? We got Allosaurus. When will TOTS come out? That's still a debate. Could be this Friday, could be next Friday. There's maybe an Invincibles promo we haven't heard yet, and then we have TOTS prep too, maybe. So I don't know what's going on with TOTS. We'll probably hear a lot more as the days go on, as we get closer. We got Anton Gregory. Going back to the topic of lag and animations, I have noticed that in bad gameplay that all my players suddenly have controlled accelerate. It's very noticeable. Lengthy is gone. Explosive is gone. It seems all players revert to FIFA 22 pre-accelerate and everyone has generic run animations. I really think this bad gameplay is caused by accelerate and even perhaps playstyle pluses. It was never this bad in the past and we didn't have these features. And I think a couple things. I think the first thing is that, we've had delay since like FIFA 15, right? It's been here for a long time. So saying, I guess, the accelerate probably causes it. I think two things can be true at once here. I think you're probably right in that your players might be going back to controlled. Like that could be happening, right? Like that absolutely could be. In fact, that does make a lot of sense actually, that players, because if you use controlled, it's not as fast as lengthy or as explosive. And also, I don't think that's like literally the genesis of the issue because it's been around for so long now. I remember in FIFA 17 when the gameplay was so much faster than it is now. I remember when I was trying to go like 40-0 in weekend league, 35-5, get to the elite rewards, that was my first year really grinding gameplay, trying to get a lot better. And I remember how delayed the game was randomly out of nowhere at like 6 p.m. content day. I couldn't believe how delayed the game was out of nowhere randomly. It never made any sense to me. I thought it was my internet, right? I always thought it was my internet as a problem. And then eventually years later, we learned that many people have this issue as well. But I think, yeah, you're probably right in that it would make a lot of sense for like the acceleration things to change and playstyle pluses to cause some wonky shit. But I do think the genesis of the issue probably goes a little bit back further than like accelerate and playstyles. We've got Adam who says, who is the best goalkeeper in the game? I still think Casillas is up there. Van der Sar is like the obvious answer. He's always insane. I actually vividly remember really liking Kobel. I thought Kobel was really good earlier in this year. I don't even know like what his best card is right now, so he probably isn't that great anymore, but that's one random keeper I remember being super good. Harry Bellingham says Baby Smith looks ripe for an Evo. And yeah, the baby cards are going to be like massive Evo cards come eventually at some point here. It's only a matter of time. Corey says, did anyone else have their Immortals Evo glitch? I did 5 Champions qualifier games. I qualified for Weekend League even, and it says I only completed 3. Now I'm left with an unfinished Evo. EA blows. And I was seeing many comments here, and then Corey eventually found it out too, that in progress Evos don't count. That was kind of an oversight from EA, I think, honestly, that anytime you had your player as an in-progress Evo, it didn't count towards the game, which, I mean, that feels like an oversight to me, and that wasn't even meant to be there, but who knows. King Bubble says, take a break from reading comments. I got you. Thanks. Okay, I'm gonna go grab a water right now. Thanks, King Bubbles. We're good to keep going. We got Corey once again saying, your channel is much more enjoyable than Nate the Fit account. I can't stand that guy. He's such a little biatch. Crying laughing emoji. Listen, I mean, that, guys, like, let's take a chill, all right? You don't have to like Nate. You don't have to like anybody. But calling somebody else a bitch in the YouTube comment section, like, let's take it easy, all right? Let's take it easy. We got Temelade who says, when I came into your house last night, the door was opened. Gotta remember to lock it, dog. You know how creeps are. Just looking out for you, man. Keep up the good work. Thumbs up emoji. And 10th Wonder replies and says, why not just call him? Why leave a comment? Crying laughing emoji. And I hate to say, 10th Wonder, you fell for the bait, because this guy was not in my crib last night. This guy was not in the crib last night. He is just talking out of his ass, and that's a good one. Your bait worked on somebody. Congratulations. But thanks for the heads up, Temulet. I appreciate it. Zinda says, I have 5 gig internet, Walmart speed in parentheses. I live 180 miles to the closest server. My ping says 8 to 10. My gameplay is so slow that sometimes players feel like they don't even sprint and have 0 AI movement. If you play against someone who's close to the city that has a server, there is nothing you can do. And see, this is the thing where I genuinely believe that ping is not the only reason as to why people have delay. I think there's delay baked into the game itself. I think that ping it can be at times irrelevant to the delay you're feeling. I think sometimes, yeah, your ping can be 75 or 175, and like you can obviously notice those things. But most of the time, you can have shit gameplay if your ping is 20. You can have shit gameplay if your ping is 10, right? You can have that. It is possible. So, you know, more consistently, hard to say. We don't really have any idea what causes more consistent gameplay versus what doesn't cause it. So we have really no information. But yeah, I mean, obviously it only helps being closer to a server. But yeah, ping and the server delay, or sorry, ping and the gameplay delay isn't necessarily server related a lot of the time, which is one of the more perplexing things about the whole delay problem. We got Anthony Garcia. Love the vids, man. Keep it up. Thank you. Do you think it would have helped for the Immortals Evo if any card we chose would have gotten all the playstyles stripped down to none, so it could have been fully customizable and less confusing? 100%. I think it definitely would have been. I think for a casual player, it's probably very confusing. Like the whole Evo system with many of these like customizable Evos, the Future Stars one, this new Immortals one. You can't put base playstyle Evos that you earn in other modes into this. And like a casual player, they're going to know that? I mean, it's confusing stuff. Bear86, I took the advice and bought 40-ish 89 rated team of the weeks at 11,500. Heart emoji. I mean, listen, it's a matter of time. It might take a month. It might take a week. It might take tomorrow, but it's going to be a matter of time till those rise up again. I might end up with 140 in my club before they end up rising up. We got 10th Wonder back again. Remember when we got Greats of the Game Hullet and Cruyff, both for 7 squads last year, and exchanges, and Galazzo was a way better promo than this is. EA are just robbing players at this point. You're preaching. Okay, you're absolutely preaching. I got nothing else to say about that. We got iPhone Daily about the player role plus thing that is definitely a money maker for EA. That makes those people who spend crazy amounts of money on cards happy because those millions of coins plus role players greatly improve those people's skills, quote unquote. Okay, I see what you're saying now. So you're saying it's like more of a pay to win system because players will now, they can almost do things without the person even realizing it. It's like more automated skill gap almost, you're trying to say. So not a skill gap, but you know what I'm saying there. When I play against those billionaire teams, I can see that they just make random through passes. Their players suddenly rush out like a rocket. All they need to do is press shoot, then the ball from whatever difficult angle, find the back of the net. Happy for those billionaires. They have such great skills. Proud of their wallets. Cheers with the beer tapping emoji. So yeah, I see what you're saying there. You're talking about they're adding things in that will help the player not even realize that they're being helped because the AI is better, right? And I also do think it is like anything that's automated in the game, it's hard to put those things behind sort of an ability wall in a sense. Like you have AI now that some players are designed to have worse attacking AI because they don't have a role or something like that. You know, just the stuff behind that is kind of questionable in terms of like, will that help with the enjoyment and gameplay at all? Should we have different AI for different players? Then again, if we don't have that, you might end up with a situation like Hosselu at right back where because AI is not different, you know, you can play a player out of position and they'll play just fine. So it is tough to balance that. And what do you guys think now that we've had a year of roles now? Next up, we got White Rex. EA sucks dog beep for sports. Thanks for reading. Okay, thanks for commenting. Big Mike, his talk about exchanges is so jarring. Guys, let it go. It ain't happening. It's like telling a kid they can't have a chocolate bar in the shop. I mean, yeah, you're probably right about that. Exchanges are probably not happening. Wicked Kids, yeah, they should bring replay back for every game mode because I'm tired of the soft hackers or the fidelity of the servers. I just don't understand EA's perspective on security enabled from the root core of the game's engine. And yeah, one thing on PC too is you have to avoid hackers as well. When you're up at, I think this happened when maybe a month ago, I was like 13-0 and I just hop into a game and my players are running in slow motion. And I just got basically cheated on or hacked on or whatever, and I just lost. And it was simple as that. There's been a couple times where I'll go up 2-0. The guy purposely all of a sudden stops playing. And once that happens, I know I'm fucked because he's going to crash the game and he's not going to get a loss for it. And I might get a loss. I might not get a loss for the game, even when I'm winning. Yes. Oh, so it's just shit like that, yeah, the security you're talking about, it's hard to say how good it is. Doesn't seem like it's that great. Got Ed Zombie. Thank goodness for Verdansk. I haven't touched this boring mess for a while, and I'm not planning on going back for a long time. And listen, just play what you have fun playing, okay? If you have fun playing Verdansk, then play Verdansk because your gaming experience needs to be about fun. And if it's not on FIFA, then don't play it. And if it is on FIFA, then, you know, great. That's awesome. Monty Matata, please rate our Evo teams. It's coming very soon. Don't you worry. Sam McAllister, are you reading this? If so, can you scream from the rooftops, Onana, get out of my club. Hands down the worst goalkeeper ever. Well, he got benched for Bayendir, or I think it's Bayendir is how you pronounce his name, who then ended up kicking it straight to Joel Linton's big-ass noggin, and I was like, oh, was Bruno scored that goal? I forgot who it was. Who scored that goal post the Bayender mistake. But yeah, Onana's having a rough, I mean, it's over. It's over for Onana at United, probably. BH Villa Man, dupe storage, way better than exchanges. I agree with you on that one. I still don't see why we can't have both. Like the why not both meme, like with the little Mexican girl. But yeah, Pepe Neo says, I don't really try much, so I'm just now on Div 5 Rivals, and my goal is Division 3. I'm not going to stress myself for a video game, even if I don't get the best rewards now. I always end up with every card at the end of the game. And yeah, I'm assuming he means like every card come July and August, I end up with all the cards anyway. And listen, you know, even ignoring that point, just the point you made here that you're not going to stress out over a video game, that's great, okay? I like kind of making myself stressed out almost to try and push myself to play better. So I also might be a fucking idiot. Like, that might be dumb. But I think if you're playing video games for strictly leisure, which is what you should do, I might be just a fucking psychopath. I don't know what is my problem. I play a lot of games just to try and be as best as I can be at them, which probably isn't like a healthy thing to do. But yeah, you know your goals. Your goal is Div 3. I'm content in staying Div 5, having fun. Go have fun, man. That's all that matters to you. Go and have fun. Abacus Frost, when is the TOTS stream? Also, one of these days you should host an FC tournament. That would be elite. Winner gets an E date. And you know what? That actually just gave me a great idea. You know what I should do? So I am going to make myself a Discord. If you're here, if you're in this video, if you're in like whatever, 40 minutes, 30 minutes into this video, whatever the heck we are now, I'm going to very soon be like, hey, come into my Discord, and we're going to start making video ideas like, hey, send me your best goals, send me your team, send me your Evos, send me your this and that. I'm going to try and make a lot of videos revolving around like my community. One of them, we might do an FC tournament, and I want to try and have people like talking in a gameplay as well. Like one rule, you might have to have a mic and you have to like talk while you play. I want to do that. Kind of like reminds me of the old like COD days. Like I came from COD, and, like trash talk and stuff like that. You guys know how Xbox and PS3 lobbies were back in the day. Let's just say we've heard things you might never expect an 11-year-old kid to hear. This Lodicus comment we actually read, I think, in that video that day. Facu Torres, I can say I'm going to Kaboom in 9 different languages. French, German, English, Spanish, Portuguese, Latin, Jamaican, Arabic, and Italian. Well, good lord. How many of you watching this who are at this part of the video, how many of you can speak, like, let's not just say you're bilingual, like how many of you are trilingual plus? Like how many of you can speak 3 languages? That's insane to me. We got H. Lou, who says, what do you think about FCIQ and roles? I feel it's too restrictive, but a lot of people seem to like it because it's more realistic. Do you think EA will add something like playstyles or roles next year? And what is your favorite period of time on FIFA? The first month, team of the year, TOTS, or something else? So the first question, what do you think about FCIQ and roles? I think you want to have restrictions on, like, yeah, do you want to be able to play Joselu at right back, which was a big thing last year, right? Because of the aerial plus meta, he had aerial plus like 80 defending, super high pace and physical. He ended up being like what pros used at right back. He was a striker. I personally, because this is Ultimate Team, I know this might be a little more unpopular of a take because I do think we need realism to a certain extent in Ultimate Team still. But honestly, for the restriction this creates, is it worth it to be like, we really don't want Joselu at right back, so we're gonna like overhaul the entire system to make things way harder now? Do we really want that? I feel like Joselu at right back is annoying. Is it that annoying though? That's the debate, right? Is it really that annoying? The point where we have to like now change the system. You can't play a center mid that comes out at the beginning of the game doesn't have box-to-box plus, even though he'd play the box-to-box role well. It's like, oopsies, sorry, can't play him there. It's like, okay, is this really worth it now? Second question, do you think EA will add something like playstyles or roles next year? So saying like, will they add another sort of like card skill, almost like a card stat in a way? I don't think so. I think with roles this year was confusing enough for the casual player, and I don't think with FCIQ they'll probably add more roles, and they'll add maybe a playstyle or 2 more, but they won't add like another sort of card stat gap, if that makes sense, or a card skill stat, if that makes any sense at all. And last question, what's your favorite time period of FIFA? The first month, team of the year, TOTS, or something else? I would probably say it's the first month. I think that's probably my most favorite time. I also think secondly is when I save packs for team of the year and the team of the year stream. I love the team of the year stream. We're on 3 years in a row now, I think, of a team of the year stream. We were definitely on 2. It might only be 2 years in a row, actually. But I think this year we had 500 viewers live. It was like 10,000 plus unique viewers, like smashed the record for all the streams. I stream like, you know, only a couple times a year. So selfishly for me and my channel, I think team of the year is like my favorite. I think if I didn't have a YouTube channel, I'd say beginning of FIFA. I like the idea of like learning the game, trying to improve your team a lot. I think that's the most fun time. Facu Torres is back again. I kind of want a Rory Delap themed Evo. go just for fun. There's really no way to get long throw right now, and it might not be good, but it's fun as hell. Listen, if you guys have used long throw at all, let me know, okay? Because that's interesting. We got Can P. This game is dead, and I hope all S employees will lose their jobs. Morons. Okay, so this game is dead. I hope all EA employees lose their jobs. Listen, I think the sad part I genuinely believe about this, like this whole situation we're in right now, is that if I had to guess, I would guess the majority of the developers making this game genuinely care and want this game to be better. Now, that thought in my head did change a bit when we heard, what was his name? I forgot his name. Adrian, that's what it was. When Adrian came out and said, like, hey, we're so proud of this game. I think we did a great job. And then I can't even say it. Then he deactivated his Twitter account when he got a lot of backlash for saying that, when the gameplay was in the worst spot it was ever in like November. That didn't last long. So maybe they are delusional. I genuinely think, though, they want what's best for the game. And I think where the blame usually is to lie is the corporate higher-ups. That tends to be where those people are the ones that are really making the decisions that the devs have to then just deal with. Now, of course, that's just speculation with a little bit of sort of insight into some of that. I have actually spoke to somebody who used to work for EA and kind of knows that, and it's mostly the higher-ups that are really the issue here. But okay, we got Rajon Stooley. I've seen some tweets saying that we're going to have another filler promo next week before TOTS. I hope it's not true. These promos have been asked for a month now. Also, day 34, no streak, heartbreak emoji. And yeah, Invincibles apparently could be a promo. I hope not, but that is the rumor on the street right now. It could be. We got Based, who says, if there's anything I hate now about Ultimate Team, it's the fact that building your Ultimate squad has never been so hard. There's roles, BS secondary positions that are purposefully wrong in the inferior chem system. Trying to build a team with your favorite players is sometimes impossible. No wonder the player base pushes for full meta only. This is also a bit of like the nuanced piece of the whole, why don't we all play for fun? If you want to use all your favorite players, it actually isn't that easy, because they probably play in different leagues, different countries, all over the place. It's really not that easy, especially when now we have tactics tied to your players. So even if they do manage to fit in the team, if your favorite striker doesn't have, let's say, false 9++, and you love false 9, sorry, can't use them. So that is a kind of a piece of this that is important that we can't forget, that if it was easy to use your favorite team ever, if that was like easy, I think more people would probably do it, honestly. We got Drippy Bacon. I also got in the video. You know what? Thanks, Drippy. Glad you got the video. Gymnastics. Win equals fun. Lose equals sad. That is true. Doc and Rum. My neighbor is in the Guinness Book of World Records. He's had 48 concussions. He lives real close to me. A stone's throw away, in fact. Listen, I'm not going to say anything. He might be a great dude, okay? That guy might be a great dude. That guy's got a ticking time bomb in his brain, okay? That guy's he's got one of those, like, you know, those cartoon bombs that slowly, like, start to fuse out, you know, as we get closer to them exploding. That's that guy in his noggin right now. And I would just, when that explodes, I would be as far away from that guy as you possibly could. We got Gator Doc, who makes a really nice point here. Regarding the sweatiness of video games these days, I think the main reason is addiction. I need more packs. I need the best packs. I need the most wins. I need it now, and I can't waste one game. This is 100% true. This is 100% one of the reasons that this game specifically is very sweaty. Now, that's been a general trend with all of gaming, that, you know, it's getting sweatier, it's getting more competitive. So that's where, like, Gymnastics said it, you know, winning equals fun, losing equals not fun. It's simple as that. But I think with FIFA, it's deeper than that. I think that's partly why people are toxic to each other too, is that when you're playing somebody in Weekend League, you're 10-1, he's 10-2. That person, if they're both addicted to packs, right? Say hypothetically they're both addicted to packs. They're both trying to, like, you know, they're both standing in the way of someone's literal physical addiction to something, right? So that is why I think there's just toxicity a lot of the time, and what's the word? Vitriol, more so between like FIFA opponents than in other games, because you're standing in the way of somebody else's addiction. Imagine there's an alcoholic or a drug addict, and you go, hey, to get to your alcohol, to get to your meth, you got to go through me, pal. They're gonna truck you, okay? They're gonna run right through your ass. And that's no different to what's happening in FIFA, I think. think a lot of the time. And also he says, you know, remind myself, higher rewards don't make you better and usually aren't better. 100%. Higher rewards usually don't even end up like giving you that much of better stuff anyway. It's kind of pointless. We got Yasway Barbosa, I want to say. Hosway. Whatever happened to the viewers unique squads video? You never made it. We talked about that already. Blame my dipshit computer. We'll be making that again here very shortly, and I want you to send me them again. Chapman FC comment winky face. Thank you, Chapman. And thank you for the algorithm comment. 876 Clan says the same thing. Yes, we will for sure do them. Brian, I think we talked about this comment in the video that day. James saying hat trick. I have 488 Baby Zola duplicates and packed Al Jaber 7 times. Not a single other promo player. I have accepted this is 100% my fault for continuing to have hope that EA will do better. And listen, I think some of it can be on, you know, the person for expecting EA to change. Will they change? You know, they've changed this year, to be fair. We have seen more of a change this year than in most years because guess what? They had to. They didn't want to. Would they have done these changes if they had an amazing financial quarter? No, they would have fucking shoved it inside of you even deeper. Okay, they would have just. Hey, you know what? I'm not gonna. Let's stop the analogy there. If you're telling me that financial quarter was good, we were gonna see a change. Fuck no. We only see it when shit hits the fan, right? So if you want to see change, FC points, no more, right? Next up is KE. I couldn't care less about the become immortal. I'm gonna get 4 rush wins for the 1000 SP. Crying, laughing emoji. And I think yeah, the become immortal was probably not as crazy as it could have been, which is most people's opinions out there. It was a lot better to me when we got the SBC. That was a big improvement to me. D Doza. I can't find the second channel. Am I missing the link? It should be in my main channel's descriptions. I believe that's where it's at usually, I want to say. We've got Relentless, who says EAFC 24. Baresi lived rent-free in my head. Every pack, boom, there he is. Now he's back. Where is my therapist's number? Dial him up because Baresi's back, baby. Drew says hats off to people still playing this mess of a game. And hey, hats off. I'm still playing it. I'm still playing it a lot, honestly. I think the gameplay is, I mean, listen, I think that the gameplay is, I mean, it's better than it was. I still think it's better than it was at its full potential. I still have fun with FIFA so much because there's so much of it that I can try and create my own fun. I love using Doombia again, right? And that's just me with my own personal enjoyment, not literally relying on the game to be my enjoyment. I think if you rely on the game to be your enjoyment, you're gonna probably not be satisfied. And that's unfortunate. I don't think it should be the case, but that's kind of how it is nowadays. It's kind of how it is with a lot of games nowadays, honestly. And that's just, it's unfortunate. I think Shane's comment we read in that video that day, Devin packs his storage way better than exchanges. I totally agree. I think storage needs to stay from now on. Raid Woo says most of them get boosted. It's why most don't play live games in champs. I'll be honest with you, I have zero idea what you are talking about with that comment. I might be a giant dumbass. I could be. I have no idea what you're saying. Pedro says Andra 95 is a nice investment. Got a lot of 70k. They're selling now at 93k. And yes, that for sure. I kind of didn't really think about Andra, honestly. I didn't even recommend her too much. I should have. That's kind of on me, honestly. That was an easy investment to make. Very easy. Adore says, hi from Afghanistan. When's the next Evo vid? And then this guy replies and says 12 p.m. Now, listen, I'm not sure if Miziao, I don't know if he knows me. Listen, this Miziao guy might be my dad, but Evo vid, one coming out at 12 p.m. I don't know what he's talking about. But hello from Minnesota to Afghanistan, and the next Evo vid will be very soon. I'm very excited for that. But yeah, I think we're at like I'm at an hour and 40 into this recording, and I want to say we're probably close to an hour in the recording itself, and I'm still not on the second video yet. So unfortunately, we'll just keep going and see how far we get. We got Trini Ace, who basically says, you know, he likes that EA are doing the SBC version of an Evo. I totally agree. I think that honestly is only good for us. That's one of those things that it's still good for EA because there will be players who will want to just go and buy a store pack to have enough fodder to do that evolution. So like that's still an option, but I do think that really helps the free-to-play player a lot. It definitely does. So I definitely want to give EA their credit for that. We got Rob Holden, who says can't be asked with squad battles, can't be asked with rivals, can't be asked with weekend league, can't be asked with SBCs, can't be asked with Evos anymore. My first child due end of September, around the time FC comes out. I know what's more important. Fuck EA, I'm done, and it feels fantastic. Keep up the content, bro. video shall be watching from the outside looking in. And listen, yeah, congratulations, first of all. Okay, congratulations on your child. That's incredible. And like I've talked about, if you can't be asked, then listen, this is not the game for you, okay? It's all about fun. Your gaming experience should be about fun. Makes me sad that you won't be watching me anymore because I selfishly want people around and I love my community. But your mental health is so much more important than anything else. That is by far the most important thing. We've got Dez who says, I'm finally at level 40. Should I take the pack or Aloeron? He'll fit into my Saudi League team, but is he worth it? Any advice? Now, if you're rocking a Saudi League team as your main team, I would say go for it, bro. Because Aloeron, that might be the best Aloeron card we see for a couple months, okay? And if you're like, say you're Saudi Arabian, I don't know if you're Saudi Arabian or not, but if you're a Saudi Arabian, Saudi League team, then you know what? Fuck it. Just pick the card you'll have the most fun with. But if your main team isn't a Saudi League team, it's kind of like a secondary team, I'd pick the fodder still. I think the fodder 87-15 pack is really good. And you also just said some more nice stuff in the comments. And you know what? I just don't deserve you guys. You know what? I don't deserve you guys. Tomas says, for someone who has only played Ultimate Team since December and bad at defending, even with 2 CDM, which defensive playstyle is the best? Aggressive is still helping, or is it too much? I'm not sure what you mean by aggressive, but I think the best defensive playstyles, if you're somebody who struggles to defend, what will probably be the best thing for you is automatic playstyles. I would go and first of all say intercept plus through CDMs. I would definitely do that. I think block plus for center backs, you know, just ways that automatically they can trigger things is a good way to help you. And also just reps are the most important thing. And just repetition of playing the game a lot. If you want to genuinely get better at FIFA, the best way to do that more than literally anything is play 10 games a day for like a month and just see how good you do, or play 10 games a day for 5 days a week for a month, and you will get so much better at the game by just repetition and understanding how the game works. Obviously it's a lot of time, but if you want to get better, sometimes it takes a time commitment like that. Mr. Craig, Buffon is trash. I beat up my mate 9-2 with him in goal. Okay, that's good advice. Thank you. If you guys have similar experiences with that new Buffon, then let me know. That Galaxy kid, my friend got Thunderstruck Mbappe from a campaign pick. If I don't pack anybody the next 14 days, I'm gonna commit some heinous acts. I think the FBI just said, wait a minute. The FBI just got your social security number, your full name, your home address, your IP address. Yeah, listen, I think that I'm assuming your friend probably doesn't play as much as you, and that's probably a big part of that. And that's just the whole pack weight theory of your people not playing as much, and they get better pack luck because EA want them to stay on the game. We got Yugi here who just talks about the delay, basically saying like it sets you up to concede, and you're not wrong. The delay is ridiculous and there's no real fix to it, which is crazy. Will it ever be fixed? I mean, will pigs fly? Will the sun come up at night? I don't know. Name your saying. We got Llama Land who says, hey JFC, I've got 2 million coins. What's a rock solid investment ahead of team of the season? We'll dump everything into it. Thanks. And the only thing that like I know for a fact, I can guarantee you with, I can't guarantee you the time, I can guarantee you will be a profitable investment, is Team of the Weeks. 89 Team of the Weeks are guaranteed to be an investment that will pan out. It's just a matter of time, and that's what I would say to you. Like, if you got like time to kill, like you're playing other games right now and you don't really care about having 2 million coins, like just sitting there, whatever, like you talked about in your club, just go buy those Team of the Week cards and they're gonna rise. Okay, I'm buying 2 mil myself. If they don't rise, I'll commit heinous acts like Galaxy Kid said. Now my IP address is known by the FBI. Supreme Gecko says first. Okay, we're on to the next video now. Oliver says no second. Sorry, you were not first. Apologies. I upvoted my own comments. I am indeed a loser. Let's move on before I get exposed even more here. We're gonna read some comments from this video because I'm 2 hours in now. And Trinity A says here he didn't want to do Sawa too badly because of the fact they took away her Incisive Pass Plus and also Shadow Striker Plus. And that kind of goes with the whole thing we were talking about earlier, where like, yeah, she didn't get Shadow Striker, so like can't complete her. Sorry. Like that's tough, man. That's a tough thing to deal with. I feel like it could be so much more open and more like your ultimate team if that wasn't in the game, but maybe we're looking at things too simply. Trini Ace also says Rush has always sucked, TBH. It was only fun to play with friends. I mean, yeah, I think it can be a lot of fun, like Modern Welfare said here. You know, that is one of the more casual modes in FIFA that if they added things in there that make it more casual, you can really like just make it fun. And I do think that's a missed opportunity a little bit, is that you can make Rush the mode that is like fun. You know, just have a fun mode, and that would help a lot. And Trinity Ace is back again with a lot of upvotes on this comment. EA need to make the golden goal thing for every cup because this game is dead, and nobody really wants to play a full match except the rats who don't want to quit when you score on them first. And the replies to this were like, Jesus Lord, this generation has absolutely been cooked with their attention spans, and yeah, I get that. I do think though that now that we're into April, we're getting towards May now, or middle of April, you know, they should add things into the game that make us spend less time doing certain things. And I'm down with the golden goal stuff. Even if it's more random, I still think it's good to like have a shave off time. We've got Raf Ruben Gaming. I actually like the Jack of all trades Evo. I am getting a Barbo with a Bruiser Plus and all 90 plus stats for defending. He's going at right back. I did see that card. That card's definitely interesting. I think a Barbo at right back would probably be pretty crazy actually. That guy's got a big old body. He's gonna be physical at right back. He's gonna pin you down, and I'm gonna stop talking now. Rajon Stooley, I see Neps tweeted about how FC is a completely different game than previous FIFAs, even 5 games ago. Makes me actually miss the simple things like catalogs and the career mode layout. Now the game is strictly money, money, money to the point where it's not even fun to get on every day. It feels like a chore. And yeah, I think that there's objectively things that they've improved on over the last couple of years. There definitely is, and we can't ignore those things. However, there's an undeniable fact that the majority of people still playing feel like we're missing something. What is that thing we're missing? That's up for debate, of course. But I personally think that that thing that we are missing is EA prioritizing the fun over other stuff. I think this might be an absolutely faded take, but I genuinely think if you prioritize fun in a game, you will make a fuck ton of money when you prioritize fun. Because the way this game is set up, people are okay with the fact that it takes a while to get good players. People are okay with the fact that if you spend money, you get good players quicker. People are literally okay with that. And the fact that you have a player base that is okay with that, and you're still crossing the line on stuff, is crazy. I think one of the biggest things as to why it doesn't feel like it used to is that honestly, we have nobody to talk to anymore. We have no idea what EA is planning, what EA's goals are. We have no idea. We can't look at, so for example, Chew Boy, who was there. We can't go talk to him and tweet at him and say like, hey, like what's going on here? What's going on here? We have no community manager. There is nothing of that. There's no talk to us. It feels so corporate. It feels so like inauthentic and feels so manipulative because that's what it is. But also it's so obvious that it is manipulative that you end up, yeah, it feels like a chore. I miss the simple things because there is no more simple things. Is that probably because of us and we want bigger improvements and advancements? Sure, you can say that. Oh, undeniably also what it is EA constantly thinking, how do we make more money? How do we monetize this further? And guess what it mainly has done? Drawn more people away from this game than ever before. The lowest player count we've probably seen in, my guess is 5, 6, 7 years, was this November. This November. Why is that? Is it just burnout? Is it staleness? Partly probably because any game being the same is like that, but guess what? We also love the sport. The sport will never die in terms of the love for it. So you have an advantage there more than like a Call of Duty, more than a Destiny, more than these games that come out that have, you know, shorter lifespans, couple years. You have the most like clear advantage over everybody. You literally have the license for every one of our childhood heroes, and still it doesn't feel like fun. Why is that? That's your fault. That's EA's fault as to why it doesn't feel fun. You can point to part of it as us, 100%. But the majority of it to me absolutely is EA's fault. By going overboard with microtransactions, overboard with monetization to appease your shareholders, your bullshit fucking tactics you use that we can see through. And that's why I'm passionate about things changing, and maybe it never will. I don't know. But you know what? I'm gonna keep talking shit because I hopefully have a pain in their side for the time being. Okay, it's been over 2 hours. If you somehow are here at this point in the video, drop the big fat ass, drop the peach emoji, okay? I appreciate you all. If you're somehow here, especially an hour and some in, thank you all so much. Have a wonderful rest of your day. I love you all. Peace.